How we doing, guys? I'm back again doing another video. We're gonna talk about different e-juices and mod boxes, different milligrams, and what you should use with certain with vape pens and mod boxes, so that you know. Just so you guys know, I do go by Mike Vapes. I also go by Joker Vapes, and if you look at my email or my thing, it's called Smurf 0070530. You know what I mean? So let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about different e-juices like the Cloud Chasers Metronome or the Space Jam Solstice. We also got in here the Pinky, which is harder to see, from Vapor Shark. We have in here the Morning Star from Vapor Shark. We have in here the hazelnut coffee from Vapor Shark as well. The reason that I show you all of them is they're all different milligrams and they all hit different ways, especially in different pens and in different mod boxes or RDAs and everything else. So what made me go into vaping? Let's see, I have 3 daughters. I was a 2-pack-a-day smoker, and I was going nowhere fast, leading myself down a dangerous road, inhaling 7,000 plus chemicals. I mean, having my kids around, whether I was outside or not, I mean, just the smell that was on you is nasty. The people don't want to be around you because they're like, oh my God, stop, what's wrong with you, get away from me, like, yeah, so, I mean, I looked up. I did a lot of research online. If you want to go to YouTube, go to Google, check it out, read up on it for yourself, find out the reasons why you should switch to vaping instead of sitting around smoking nasty ass cigarettes. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. Um, so here's the thing. Now, the different juices that I showed you, like I said, you got Metronome from Cloud Chasers, 3 milligrams of nicotine. You got Space Jam Solstice at a little whopping 1.5 milligrams of nicotine. You've got your hazelnut coffee from Vapor Shark at a whopping 18 milligrams. That tells you what was going on there. You got your Pinky at a really low, not really low, 12 milligrams. And you've got your Morning Star that I love this flavor. As you can see, I gotta buy some more of it, but it's at a real low 6 milligrams. So now you ask, why are these ones so high? Why is this one 18 milligrams? Why is this one 12 milligrams? Well, let me explain to you the reason for that. You see this little thing right here? This is what I started off with. You can still see it's full. I mean full of Pinky, which is 12 milligrams. This is the Vapor Shark VS1, as you can see right here. They no longer make this. This was the very, very first pen I ever bought to start vaping. This took me from 2 packs a day to a pack a day of cigarettes. I didn't fully quit with this thing. I tried, but it just didn't work. Now, pros about this and cons about this. I loved this pen. It was beautiful, easy charging. You just plug it into a PlayStation or whatever. It's got the same USB port. Easy to take off the tank, which right now it's a little bit harder because it's been sitting, but the tank's easy to come off right now. Like I said, I don't know why I'm having such a problem with it, but there we go. And this is what it looks like. This is your pen. Inside of this pen is the battery. It's not a high water volt battery. Your push button to activate it is right here. This is a protector piece for the battery from the ignition switch. It also keeps the tank on so that you don't bend it or break the 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 housing coil, the housing screw in, and so that it looks like it's one piece instead of like a glass ball sitting on top of nothing. Um, the reason that I don't still use it is Vapor Shark stopped making this. They don't make it anymore. I bought this at a mom and pop shop in a nearby neighborhood by my house. I used it until the atomizers went bad, and I couldn't buy any more atomizers for it, so it just hangs out now. I'm sure they sell atomizers for it, but I'm not really trying to look for them. So it sits in my little box. Now, the reason I have such high milligrams with the hazelnut and the pinky are because this doesn't have high voltage, high wattage. So in order to feel the hit of the nicotine that I needed to quit smoking, I needed the high milligrams. As you can see, since I switched up, I bought one bottle. This was my first bottle ever that I bought from Vapor Shark. It's still halfway full, maybe a little more than halfway full. I don't smoke on it anymore because it's way too harsh for me. The pinky, I've used it every now and then because I had no other choice. I didn't have the money to buy another bottle at the time. But you can see there's still some liquid in here. I've bought one bottle each of these. I've bought 3 bottles of the Morning Star. This is when I switched my mod box to the Decimus from Praxis Vapors, which I've talked about in another video. I've bought 3 of these bottles. I've smoked, well, not smoked, I've inhaled all 3 of these bottles because you don't really smoke vapor. The machine smokes, you just suck on it and inhale, and blow massive clouds. Let's see, put those away. Now, like I told you about how this one with the high nicotine levels, because you needed it to feel the hit so that in your lungs, in your throat, in your head, you could tell yourself I'm smoking a cigarette, basically, so you could quit smoking. Now, when I bought this big bad boy, the Decimus Praxis, which I talked about in another video, you can go look it up. We're not going to get into all of the specs and everything for this thing, but when I bought this bad boy, I switched. You see the clouds I get off of that thing? Nothing like the clouds I got off of this thing, and I've started cloud chasing recently. But when you put something like the hazelnut coffee or the pinky at 12 milligrams and 18 milligrams, you can't take the hit that you have to take off of that thing, and it causes problems with the mod box that you have. Not only that, it chokes you, it makes you gag. I mean, it was just horrible. I wanted to just go back to smoking cigarettes. And then when I talked to the people and did my research, I found out that if you lowered your nicotine levels, the milligrams of nicotine that are inside the juices that you use, you can actually hit the liquid that you're trying to put in there. That's when I switched to the Morning Star, and I got this, which I'll tell you why I got this and the Space Gems afterwards, because I looked up a little more information. It's something that you have to do your due diligence, find out. I mean, if you're looking for massive clouds and stuff like that, these are the ones you want to use, and I'll tell you why in a second. But like I said, when you're using like the Decimus or one of those other mod boxes, if you're used to using a pen or something like that, and you go in there and you're like, I smoke on 12 milligrams, I smoke on 24 milligrams, I need 12 milligrams, I need 18 milligrams, and you're switching to one of those mod boxes, no, you don't want to do that. Let me explain to you why. Because if you go and you do that, you're going to choke yourself, and I'm going to laugh at you. I promise you, if I see you in public and you're hitting the box, I'm going to be like, ha 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 ha, I told you, dumbass, you should have watched my video. You want to switch to these. You want to use a lower nicotine level inside of your vapor, because if not, you're going to choke yourself if you use a mod box, because of the fact that it's got higher watts, it's got higher voltage, it burns lower ohms, and it's going to kill you to try to smoke what you normally smoked out of a pen. And like I said, I'm going to laugh at you. That's just who I am. Sorry. But the reason why I switched to these, I did some video research, and I was looking up because I wasn't getting the clouds that I wanted. I mean, I wanted massive clouds. I was watching YouTube videos about cloud chasers and the competitions and how they're blowing these huge clouds, and they're doing all these really good tricks and stuff like that. And I wanted to learn how to do jellyfishes and Cheerios and how to blow an O through an O and how to make force fields and all that other good stuff. And I wanted to learn. So I went online and I YouTubed and Googled, and I found out that if you use things with what it says, like it says right here, high VG, VG and PG, there's a difference. You have vegetable glycerin and you have propylene glycol. Now the propylene glycol is like this. It's more of like a watery substance. You see how like that liquid just rolls around that bottle so quick? This one's not the same. It's like a sludge almost. It kind of takes its time to get around the bottle. The reason for that being is it's a higher VG. It's a thicker liquid. It blows a thicker cloud. It's like an oil based, basically. Propylene glycols are water based liquids. The water based liquids, thinner clouds, not as thick, not as like visible. VG, high VG, the highest you can go is a 90-10 ratio. This one's like an 80-20 ratio or 70-30 ratio. This one here's a 90-10 ratio. Cloud chasers, they make 90-10 ratios. Metronome, that's my favorite one. Like I try to tell you guys, it tastes like a vanilla cupcake. If you mix these two together, pour this one in that one, pour this one in that one, you get a lemon zested vanilla cupcake. If you like the lemon cookies that or whatever, they taste like vanilla or whatnot, you mix these two, boom, you're in there. Let me tell you why. Because you get like a vanilla lemon flavored cupcake. It's like the bomb. I used both of them. I put some of this one, I put some of this one. I use more of this to less of the 2/3 of this to 1/3 of this, and I got myself the perfect lemon cupcake ratio. Bam. You use the high VG to get thicker clouds. If you're looking to cloud chase, you want to buy RDAs to get, which I talk about this RDA in another video. So don't look at me like, oh, why you pull the RDA out? You don't talk about it. I showed you in another video. You get better clouds off of RDAs as well. That's the point of it. If you're using different mod boxes, if you're using different pens or whatever, that's going to differ between the nicotine levels that you use. If you're not a cigarette smoker but you want to try vaping, when you buy these, just buy them at 0 milligrams of nicotine. They have them. It's non-addictive basically, but you can cloud chase. You can blow big clouds. I mean, if you're a really big cigarette smoker like I was, you get low nicotine levels or 6 milligram nicotine levels, something that can help you for what you need. So that, sorry, that's my wife trying to punch me in the face while she's sleeping. But you get higher nicotine levels for however many packs. I was a 2-pack a day smoker, and I was using this pen, so I had really high nicotine levels that I was using. When I switched off this pen, trust me, I tried the high nicotine. It didn't work. Those bottles now sit in a box with this pen. I use lower nicotine levels. I'm trying to get down to a 0 nicotine. I went from an 18 milligrams to a 3 milligrams to a 1.5. I'm almost at a 0, and I haven't picked up a cigarette in over 2 months now. So from 2 packs a day to no packs a day in 2 months, I'm living proof it works. And the Cloud Chasers products, I love them. They're made for people who like to chase clouds. I will have other videos on different RDAs and things like that. But as far as it goes with the e-juices and things like that, number one, high nicotine for pens and stuff like that. Low nicotine for mod boxes with higher voltage and wattage. Your differences between your propylene glycol and your vegetable glycerin. Higher vegetable glycerin, lower propylene glycol. Thicker clouds, better smoke for cloud chasers. Higher propylene glycol, lower vegetable glycerin. Thinner clouds, it's just for you to have something to do so that you're not smoking a cigarette. Your pros about it. The pros, you don't smell like nasty cigarettes. There's no ash, there's no tar, there's no secondhand smoke. The only real bad chemical in there is nicotine. I mean, other than that, it's artificial flavoring or natural flavoring, vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, and nicotine, compared to, I mean, the 7,000 things that come in cigarettes. you can quit smoking cigarettes with these things. They have competitions, so you can get, you know, into something if you need it to be something for you. They have competitions. You can figure out how to get into them. Same way you figure out about vaping and what it can do and all the pros and cons about it. That's what it is. Now there's people who talk about, oh, they blow up and this and that. We'll get into that in another segment. We're running in about 16 minutes right now, so we're not going to get into all of that. But like I said, VG to PG, the nicotine levels, the kind of mod box you're using in the tank or RDA tank that you're using, those are the things that are going to matter when it comes to what you're using. Now, if you're a cigarette smoker, don't get tobacco flavors, menthol flavors, things like that, because that's what you smoke. You want to get something sweet like cupcakes or custards or very berry or something around the lines of sweet, because when you use that, you'll get used to the nicotine, and when you go to take a cigarette and light a cigarette, when you hit it, you're, oh God, what am I doing? And you're going to put it out. After you vape for a week or two or something like that, go around somebody who smokes a cigarette, and I promise you, you will get so turned off that you will actually either ask them to smoke away from you, or you will walk away to smoke your vapor somewhere else. Smoking is done with, people. Like my man RIP says, smoking is over. Vape is the future, and the future is now. Don't quote me on that. Quote RIP Trippers on that one. All right, guys. Much love, Mike Vapes. See you later.